I never know which way to point. I can never figure it out.
You look at the thing, you hold two up, and then you put one down, and you figure it out.
Well, at least one of us has this whole thing figured out. I'm still trying to figure it all out.
I like how you guys just put me on the bottom.
I mean,
There.
there we are.
No, I'm joking.
There we go. We can move you around.
There we go.
We can sandwich you too right in the middle if you want.
Oh God.
That's even worse, right?
You guys are crazy with this technology.
I know. Something. It's awkward.
Oh, how do I get out of this now? I don't remember. There we go. Oh, I got to share my screen with you, don't I?
Yeah, if we're going for the mods afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about mods. Talk about good ones.
If we have time, we'll see. I don't think we're gonna have time.
Mods that need to change their name. Do it. I'll do it for you. Come on.
You got enough time if I do a quick intro while you're doing your stuff?
What?
I go live and you do your fixing, whatever you're fixing right now.
Oh, I'm not fixing anything. I'm ready.
Okay, I'll go live on my side then if you're good.
Word.
Hi, my friend. Where am I? Boom.
Super
Ooh, what's this? Oh, never mind. We're good.
Share screen.
I used to have music as well, but I don't think I do anymore.
Yeah, it's all right.
Go live.
There we go.
Oh, I just realized we're not live on that problem, no.
What, on your YouTube channel?
No, we're on the other Twitch side.
Hey,
live on the Twitch side, but we're getting set up right in meow.
Yeah. How's everybody doing today?
Boy. There we go. We're good. We got her set up.
Nice. Yep. I'm just getting them right and left. And of course, Virtual Farmer just went live. Sorry, dude.
Sorry, VF. Welcome in, folks. How you guys doing tonight? Today, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is anymore. Welcome into the Farm Sim Show. We've got, it's going to be a good day today. Of course, you saw the title. You know we've got, well, the man, the myth, the legend, the squad, a.k.a. Grant, real life farmer from Farm Sim to real life. And we're going to be chatting with him today. So hopefully you guys are excited for that, because I certainly am. I don't even know what else we could talk about. If we're going to get to the mods, the new news for Farm Sim or not, I have no idea if we're going to get that far today. But if you guys want to ask some questions, of course, drop in the chat. By all means, we'll see what we can do for most of those questions. We'll see if we can get to them. Boom. Well, welcome in. Grant, cheers to you. Thanks for coming in and hanging out with us today. I appreciate it, man. It's awesome to see you in here, man.
Yeah, no. Thank you guys. It's cool.
Whoa.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, there we go. The internet's.
We really got to get you a DSLR, bro.
Is it me?
Yeah.
It went out of focus for a second. We're good.
Okay.
Now.
Is my voice good?
Yeah.
I think we're good to go. I think we've got everything set up.
There you go. But yeah, we have Squad's hanging out with us today. We're going to talk to him and talk about a few things that he's been working on, teased on his second channel. If you guys haven't, go check it out. Does some really, really cool stuff, and it's a lot of fun to watch.
Links are in the description for both of his channels as well. Of course, DJ, my channels are all linked there as well. Go subscribe to everyone so you don't miss anything Farm Sim and, well, real life Farm Sim related. Holy shnikes. I can't wait to talk about this. This is going to be fun. Man, I don't even know where to start. Where do we want to start? Do we just go to the intro and get going?
Just roll it, man. Let's get into it.
I think we should probably just get rolling, eh? All right. Oh, let's boy. I don't have screens, but let's go. Boom. And boom.
Farm Sim Show, baby. The Sim Show.
I love it. It's so good.
It's awful.
Every week, I still laugh every time.
I realize how terrible the intro is, and it's all my fault.
No, you made it. You made it what it is, bud. I love it.
Lord have mercy. All right, let's get right into it.
You start.
We got a nice audience here. It's
pumping up real quick. Look at that. Good to see you guys. Welcome in.
Some cool people hanging out with us.
If you guys are new, of course, the Farm Sim Show, we talked to someone about, well, farming sim. We got mod creators. We've got YouTube content creators, Twitch content creators, people from Giants in here as well, if this is your first time in here. So we're going to be hanging out, chatting, everything to do with Grant today as well. So it's more than just farm sim today. Let me trust me on that one. That's for sure. Oh, man. Let's see. Look at best intro. Yeah, best intro in Farm Sim. There we go.
Worst. It's the worst.
Yeah. And I got some questions for you guys. I want to figure out kind of what you guys know, because I think you guys know some stuff about Farm Sim 22.
Okay.
I don't know about.
Did you happen to watch
DJ? Look at DJ over there. He knows some stuff.
How do you?
Grant's been muted on DJ's side. Nice. I like that.
Oh, sorry. I took myself out of the wrong thing.
Can you mute yourself there? Oh, he's gone now. Yeah, now I can't even add him back in.
Let me back in.
There we go.
There he is.
I'll not do that again. There's things you can ask questions.
Okay.
There's not much out there yet. There's some information that's been public, but
Yeah.
Now I know you guys talk about Farm Sim a lot, but I'd be curious to see your guys' predictions coming up on Farm Sim too. We'll see. We'll get into that.
Just for Farm Sim 22 or beyond?
For Farm Sim 22, yeah.
Okay. I could do that.
I've got lots of predictions, that's for sure. None of them are going to be right, but I got lots of predictions.
I got to remember what's a prediction and what's not. So let's just get started right off the bat. Grant, what got you into playing Farming Simulator? What started you on your quest?
Yeah, Farm Sim would have been. Actually, now I think of it, it would have been Offspring. Does anybody remember the Offspring Gaming?
Offspring Gaming?
Yeah. He was one of the OGs on YouTube.
Okay.
The Offspring Gaming. Look him up on YouTube. I think he has like 50,000 subscribers, but he was doing trucking videos. So he'd hook up a truck and then hook up a trailer and do hauling videos. That's all he's doing. And so my 14, I'd been 14 at the time, something like that, 13 maybe, sitting on the couch doing nothing, watching his videos. I was like, okay, well, I can do this. So I started making hauling videos just like him. And so he inspired me to do the Farm Sim at the start, I would say. And then, Farm Sim. But then a couple years earlier, we did lots of other YouTube videos. We had like Call of Duty in real life with my buddy Luke. He lives down the street and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, on one of my videos in real life, I kind of showed a clip of one of our prank channels we started too. That was going to come and go and like pranking people and stuff like that. It was a mess. It was a mess.
It was fun, at least.
Yeah.
So you'd had a bunch of different content before you even got in towards Farm Sim, it sounds like.
Yeah. And honestly, as young kids, it was kind of, a lot of it was because we were like, okay, it'd be cool if we could make a couple bucks off YouTube. Like, for some reason, that was so fascinating. It really was.
I agree.
So,
I still find it interesting.
I was going to say, as a 30-year-old, I was like, what if?
Yeah. So what happened with Farm Sim? What did Farm Sim stick for you?
Well, let's see. So when we started the Squad YouTube channel, so to get behind the Squad, it was a buddy and another buddy, but he dropped out after the first day. So it was me and another buddy, and we went up to like 5,000 subscribers. Anyways, our whole idea was to literally create or play any new game possible. So we just played all sorts of new games, and obviously I was kind of interested in farming. Farm Sim 2015 just came out. Yeah, Farm Sim 2015. So we played that, and that kind of just started taking off. I mean, it got like 500 views, which it was huge for us. It was crazy. So from there on, just played Farm Sim. So
you dedicated to Farm Sim. Did you never switch back? You always stayed with Farm Sim after that point?
Always Farm Sim, a little bit of GTA.
Okay.
A little bit of GTA, yep.
Now that'd be interesting. I want to see the Grant play some GTA now. I'm curious.
Oh God.
That'd be hilarious.
Gosh.
So obviously you were a lot younger than a lot of people that play Farming Simulator were. Like, you started, 2014? Is that correct? Something like that?
2014, yep.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a sec. This may be the 6th anniversary.
Today?
Yes. Holy crap. Austin was supposed to remind me of this. Hold on here.
7th anniversary?
Or 7th. My math is off.
I'm not allowed to do
hard.
math
I
on
get it.
screen, but I can if it's under 10.
No, I'm serious. This may be, so the Squad, no, May 29th, 2014. We're one day off.
Okay.
It's tomorrow.
Yep, tomorrow.
Well, y'all better wish Squad happy 7th birthday.
7th.
7th
There we
YouTube
go.
anniversary.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So when was it that you started realize like, I don't have to get a job. I can, and not like the going to school thing. Obviously, you went to school, you got your degree, which was incredible, especially for someone with a very successful YouTube channel. Most people just said, I don't have to do this anymore. I can just take off.
Yeah.
When was it that you realized like, you know, I don't need to get like a high school job, or I don't need to get a job in college. I can just do this, and this is going to help.
Yeah, that was. Oh, so you're talking like kind of part-time job type of thing.
Yeah,
just part-time, or even like a career, like anything that would have been like, you need to start really thinking about, well, YouTube's only going to be, I'm just doing this for fun. I need to really start planning out my future. Like, you didn't realize this was something that's going to sustain you the next 20 years potentially, right?
Yeah, well, I guess you kind of think about it like, in high school, I always had a job kind of for fun and stuff. And so YouTube was kind of for fun, but you knew there was a ton of upside to it, if that makes sense. So about halfway through college, I was probably like, okay, if we go focus at this, we can do YouTube full time. So that halfway through college point, sophomore year of college, it was kind of when you made that decision, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what was your plan for that? Like, how did you transition into that? What was your plan to make it like a full-time thing?
It was just post as much as possible. And it's, I just posted every day.
Was that a goal? Like a goal to say, I'm going to put a video out every single day?
Yeah, pretty much. Let's see, all through college, I posted every single day, but 2 days, I think, because I got in a bike ride crash, and I was in the hospital for 2 days. So that was the only time I didn't post. Towards the end of college, though, I did take a couple of days off there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 years of college, basically.
Yeah, just
and you posted pretty much religiously every single day for the most part, minus a couple where you were injured or near the end. That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, and it's just like you guys do it too. It's just kind of that dedication, especially really, really early on. So I know DJ and Klutch, you guys both posted insane amount of videos, which is great and awesome. So
that guy's nuts. I know, but
I think there were times where if a mod map came out, I was just doing what I saw everybody else doing. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I like the mods. I'll do mods. I like the information and news. I'll do that. Oh, I love map tours. I'll do those.
Yep.
And eventually I had to start pulling back. Like, all right, I love this, but I don't love it that much. Not enough. What was it? Actually, about when I started watching you, Squad, back in 2018, I started realizing I was like, I really need to get a life. And not in a those two weren't related, but I'm just saying. You know, I was at a point where I was just posting all day, and then I'd work all night. I was working 14 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Yeah.
And then all day on Sunday. And I came to a point where I was like, I could do this and make it a job, but I think my content could be better if I focused on like 1 or 2 good videos a day. Be done with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I, let's see, it would have been October or earlier of this year. I feel like that's when you really started taking off, DJ. Yeah. I remember recording with like Klutch, and I was like, holy crap, I keep seeing this DJ guy. And it's just like every video DJ was pulling is pulling crazy amount of views. So
yeah, average is what's still, I mean, no comparison, but we're still doing between 15 and 30 plus thousand every day for each video, which is still pretty good. Mm-hmm. But it's all news and information, and you do hit a wall with that as well. There's a point where people are like, I don't care about the new mods. I don't care about that. I just want to see somebody play the game. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that
goes vice versa too, though, right?
Yeah. So when was it that you kind of realized that you wanted to do more of like a role play style, where like people felt where? Darn it!
Every time this happens to him.
All right, Klutch, take over. Don't do this.
I do have some questions. I wasn't going to go the way you were going. I had some more questions, more on the personal side, because I don't think a lot of people get on your personal side. That's for sure. So let me. So you live or your folks. You grew up on a farm, essentially, right? Like a smaller farm.
I grew up in a big town, and then my grandparents were big farmers, and they were like 2 hours away. So I always went up to there. That's how I got the interest. So
so like the videos you posted, let's say like a year ago, where you and your brother, basically Spencer, was out there on a farm. Which farm is that you're always posting on then?
So that was my dad's. It's 33 acres right outside town. It's like a rec farm, basically. We just mess around out there.
Okay, so like almost like a hobby farm of sorts.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was always curious about that part because I always see you were posting just some fun like real life videos. I'm like, what is this part here? And like, did you guys is that spurred on a little bit? Like, did you always know that you wanted to move on to this massive plan that you've got going on right now? Was this kind of the start of that when you were starting on your dad's hobby farm, essentially messing around, or was this like a long-term plan you've always had in the back of your head?
Honestly, the dad's hobby farm was just to get used to being on real life and kind of practice real life video. And I feel like it was eventually kind of leading up to this, but the hobby farm thing was it was kind of fun, mess around, make some real life videos on the squad channel, have a good time type of thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know. Those were videos I personally enjoyed the best because it's like I'm like looking at the stuff. I'm like, okay, how do you move from making videos with a video game, essentially a simulation, and moving that into a real life scenario? And now the way you've gone, like I don't know how to even describe what you've done now. But anyways, we're going to talk more about that. Go and ask your question, DJ. I know you were in the middle of a thought there when everything broke on you.
I don't know. Now I'm in Sunday Fun Day mode.
Sunday Fun Day.
Sunday Fun Day. I was gonna say the thing about kind of what we do in real life. I post some Sunday Fun Day videos, and whatever we're doing in the game, like I enjoy doing in real life, and I probably do in real life. You know, we hobby ride dirt bikes and stuff. I know Klutch is a big dirt bike guy and stuff, and a lot of it we do in real life. You know, so I like to film it in real life. So
one really cool thing I think all three of our channels share is viewers, when they watch you, they feel like they know you. You know, they've never met you, they probably never will, but they feel like they know who, you know, DJ is and Klutch is and Squad is. They feel like they know who you are. So when they're in their chat, they're talking to one of their friends. They're not talking to like this big YouTube guy. I think it really helps a lot. You're very transparent about who you are, and especially with your new farming channel or your personal channel, I guess. Probably more than just farming, but it's really cool. I think it helps a lot. And I always tell people, you know, if you want to be a YouTuber, because a lot of people want to, they see the success that guys have, and they're like, I want to do that. And it's like, you got to be transparent about who you are. Let people know who you are. See your flaws, see your good things and the bad things. I think it's really good. It's one thing that I've admired about your channel, and I don't know, it's good.
I do actually have a bit of a controversial question for you here, to be honest.
Controversial?
A little bit, okay. And you're definitely aware of this. And I kind of want to hear your perspective, and I'll give you a chance to stand out on this one. I'm sure you get shots on why you don't play farming sim like people normally play farming sim. Right?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just curious. Like, I want to go through the thought process on all this. I mean, most people when they play farming sim, of course, it's about the farming, and let's be honest, RCC is really not about the farming at all anymore. How did that become a thing, and what's your reasoning behind it now, and how do you deal with the criticisms that go along with that?
Yeah, well, I guess I don't take them too harsh, I guess, but you know, I guess for me it was just like, if somebody says that, I just don't care what you have to say. There's obviously, you know, like a million people that enjoy watching camping or whatever it is, and so if it's available in the game to do, I'm going to do it. And so essentially, I guess from farm sim perspective, if you have a mod and you're on PC, you paid $60 to get this game to only farm. Well, now because of modders obviously added real value to the game to make it be a game that you can go racing, you can go camping, you can do all sorts of things. So from my perspective, it's like, why not embrace these? It's not harming anybody, if that makes sense, you know? I feel like it's a stupid comment, and it's funny because the person's going on the YouTube video of a camping YouTube video. They probably watched a little bit of it, like 4 or 5 minutes of it, and then they make that comment. So it's, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm going to make content on it, you know?
Utilizing Farming Simulator to broaden the horizon of what the game can do and show like, hey, you don't have to harvest that field over there. You can drive down that road over there and run from cops and have a good time. Heck, I jump things and nobody calls me out. Come on now.
You get called out too. Don't kid yourself, DJ.
I do. I just ignore them.
I know.
I have to argue though, it's honestly enhanced the value of the game so much. I feel like, I mean, mods and everybody obviously agrees, but all the trucking, all the hauling, you know, there's guys that probably buy farm sim just to drive crazy lifted trucks around, you know, because they
I
see it
agree.
on YouTube or something like that. So that's
Well, you were the one that kind of spearheaded that, at least in the YouTube space, I think. I don't think I knew of anybody else that did that before you. So, I mean, give you props on that. You kind of put that whole niche forward. So, like I said, I've seen it on my side of the pond, I guess, or on my side of the YouTube spectrum. I've seen the comments come in. So I definitely had to ask you that because I'm curious about what your thoughts were on all that. Now, you originally had the Squad Farms channel, and that was, how did that work out when you made that channel, and what was the reason why that's all changed up?
So the Squad was actually, that was kind of because of your question, you know, because of your farming question that actually relates to that. That makes sense. So the Squad was all kind of ridiculous, actually, no, it would have been farming and then like camping and all that stuff. And so I got a lot of people making that statement, like, you know, it's farming somewhere for a reason, make farming videos, and I enjoyed it. So I was like, okay, well, we'll make the Squad just all camping and mudding and stuff like that, and then we'll make the Squad Farms channel all farming. And so I just posted a video every day on each channel. That makes sense.
You did a video on each channel every day for a while?
Oh, yeah.
That was only for like 8 months, though. And so
only 8 months.
Yeah. Somebody ended up taking over, though.
I remember watching your videos, and I remember, you know, you'd have that, what was it, the little flyover. You didn't even care about music at the time. I don't think. Like whatever country song or whatever.
Yeah.
And then immediately, as soon as it would cut, it'd be like, a couple of you guys said that I'm going to get in trouble for playing these music, and, you know, it hasn't happened yet. So previously on Squad Farms.
I thought it was really cool, and most of the time I got away with it. But some of them did get caught, so I stopped doing that.
It happens. It happens to all of us. But I know Stevio's taken over that channel, and he's doing a great job. So cheers to him on that as well.
Oh yeah,
Stevio does an awesome job. Yeah.
So did you want to move into the real life side of things now? I do have obviously a few questions on that.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. How long have you been planning this out for? So for those in chat that aren't aware, of course, Grant's gone ahead and started building from scratch, essentially a new farm. Like, I don't think there was, like, my understanding, there's not like a farm that was there. You've kind of bought parcels of land and started to move things apart and go from there. Look like you're concentrating there.
Yeah. Sorry, just reading the comments there and stuff.
Oh, okay.
But, yeah. So I've always wanted to farm my whole life, essentially. So and it was, you know, and so YouTube you started making enough money where you're like, okay, well, I can plan this out in maybe 5 years. I can start kind of. So that's kind of how it went. And I bought my first farm, the first farm field, you know, whatever you want to call it. I bought that first farm thinking I was going to just kind of clean it up and not really start farming. But then it had some tillable acres on it. So I was like, okay, let's just farm this. Like, let's start farming right now on probably some of the crappiest dirt in Iowa, and let's just kind of work our way up. So then I bought 2 more farms after that, and that's how we're getting started. But in the perfect, like, imaginary world, I would have rather bought ground like 10 minutes away from home and start farming right here and like live on the farm. So that would be awesome, but can't have it that way right now. So
okay. So you've got, like, my understanding from the videos, you've got the 3 different fields that are kind of all separated right now, right?
Yep.
So do you have like a central storage place, or what do you do for your equipment right now?
We got the outside organic shed. So it's just a gravel lot with all the equipment sitting on it right now.
Okay, that's all you got right now.
Yep.
Okay, so is there plans for like a build?
There is plans for a building. I already have, like,
it's got a whole video on it. Clutch, did you know?
He's being a good
Spencer was in it. He was helping. He showed the whole thing.
Hey, I'm setting him up here. I'm promoting him up here, DJ. Right over there.
No, we got the building parts. I got the building parts all bought, and so right now I'm looking for just kind of a awesome piece of ground just to put the building on. That'll have good resale. So it's weird. I should probably just put it on the farm, but I kind of want to put it in a different spot. So yeah.
So real life, all the real life farming, of course, is going to be on this new channel, the Grant Hilbert channel. Hilbert. I always get your name mixed up with the L, anyways.
Hilbert.
I got the Grant Hilbert channel. Is there going to be any more like Sunday Fun Day videos on the Squad channel? I see some people in chat asking about what your upload schedule is going to be like for the Squad channel. What's that going to look like from now on?
Squad channel is going to be all farm sim. So. And I do a bad job of that right now, especially with farming and stuff, but it's going to be all farm sim. Trying to shoot for 2 vids every week, even though right now I haven't posted in probably a week. So, yeah.
Okay. So
Are you planning on doing both still full time? I mean, obviously the farm has to be taken care of.
Yeah.
You can't just leave it sitting on your computer for months as you would a game.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going to be doing both. Do you have a game plan going forward for that? Like, here I'm going to do this, and then here it's going to be like this, or it's just when I have time, this is what we'll do.
It's just kind of free flow when I have time right now. But especially I've never been through a harvest, but harvest is probably going to be a lot more focused on the real life channel. And there could be 2 weeks where there's just no posting on the squad channel. So
you can always live stream.
Oh, I should. I want to make a video playing farm sim in the tractor while harvesting on the laptop. So I
think I've seen some TikToks of that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you wouldn't be the first, but still, I would still watch it.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a whole lot of fun.
You just finished planting, right?
Yep.
Planting is completely done now?
Planting is done, yep.
How was that? Did that meet your expectations? Did you ran into a few problems I watched?
Yeah. That was good. That was fun. Honestly, it could have been a lot worse. Like something could have went wrong on the planter and I would have had to take it to somebody, something like that. Everything went pretty darn smooth. It just took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take.
What was the parts that took longer? Like, what do you mean? What part?
Like, how to describe this? For some reason, in my head, I thought it was going to take like 5 hours to plant this 80 acres, when it ended up taking like 15 hours because I didn't have GPS set up and I was always getting out to check things and stuff. And I stayed at a hotel a couple nights just to get up early next day and start working and stuff. So it just, yeah.
So how far away is it from your place? Like some of these fields, I saw some of these in the video, but I didn't get the exact distances on them. Like
it's about
miles?
an hour away.
Okay.
Hour away. Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So, and then you got travel time in the tractors a lot of the time too between these fields, right? Like it's not like you can flatbed these tractors. It looks like
let's see. So one of them is 12 miles away and one of them is 4 miles away. So they're all in like a 20-mile radius kind of.
Okay. So it's still a lot of time sitting in the seat driving down the highways though.
Oh yeah.
20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. What are so there's a lot of people, probably 99% of the people on my channel, y'all's channel, who've never farmed before in real life, who've never even sat in a tractor. Is there, and obviously I know you went to school kind of for agriculture, but so you had a lot of real life experience with this, but is there anything that you thought was kind of one way in the game, but turned out to be totally different in real life? Maybe something like, even the process of driving the tractor, how much more difficult it is, or planting or making sure everything's done, seed fertilizer, anything like that.
Okay, so I want to say farm sim's just like real life. Like it'd be cool to say that, but it's not really. Like you can learn so much more from watching the farm sim or the farm YouTubers like that are doing it than probably playing farm sim. I would say.
Gotcha.
You can get a good basis down though. I guess. I don't know. It's tough.
I grew up on a farm, but we had one tractor and did everything by hand, and it sucked. So, that's why I asked, because I've been on the farm and I've seen how you do all this, but then again, we had 1 acre or less.
Okay.
We had to do. It was literally, hands. Potatoes suck in game and real life.
Yeah. It's so weird because it's so hard to learn farming unless you actually just do it or go work for a guy. And that's probably the best experience. It's got to be just helping a farmer and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
what part of buying a farm and starting your own farm has been the most exciting and something you're like, yeah, this was just awesome?
Oh man, I don't know. It's all kind of came so fast. Probably the first farm I bought was most exciting because that farm, I was waiting, and I said it in videos, I was waiting for 5 months to reveal that farm, and it kept getting delayed because the seller kind of had a little issues along the way. Yeah. And so for 5 months, I was just sitting on this idea and this channel of starting it, and it was just eating me alive for those 5 months. It was tough, but it was awesome. December 10th is when we closed. That day was pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think I spoke with you around that time. I remember you being a little bit amped because you were kind of hush on a little bit in case it fell through.
Yeah.
You knew the plan was going on, but you weren't like, oh, this might be working out. It might not. I might not be around for a few days. So anyways, it was fun to kind of be around that point in time. Yeah. So I know you've got a ton. You've always seemed to have other projects on the go. I mean, you did what was it, Apex PC you kind of partnered with for a while, right? Are you still doing stuff with them?
I got this stupid idea to start a PC company, and we built a couple models, and I was like, there is no profit margin at all in that. So I was just like, let's partner with somebody and stuff and kind of build a custom one. So still partnered with Apex. Yep.
Could you imagine trying to build PCs in today's market? Like if that was your full-time thing right now, I would be.
You'd either be making a killing or it'd be dry as a bone. One of the two.
And you gotta love what you're doing too. You know, you guys. I know you guys build your own PCs, and you guys just love building them and stuff.
That's personal. So, like that's personal use, right? That's a whole different thing. I can't imagine building that day after day for people to ship out. I don't think I could do that. So Apex PCs. Now I know we've talked about this. You had some crypto stuff you've been doing as well over the last couple of years, right? How did that start off?
Yeah, we have a crypto. So Bitcoin, Klutch, DJ. You guys own a?
I don't. You know what? To be honest, I actually tried to buy some Dogecoin like 2 months ago.
Okay.
And my silly Canadian Visa would not allow me to do it. So
crypto coin is not where my investments go.
I wanted to. I want to get involved. I mean, that's where the hotness is right now. But I gotta come talk to you, Grant.
Okay. DJ, you a GME guy? GameStop guy?
I am I have a guy named Craig. And,
okay. That's all good.
And I give him a set amount every month.
Okay.
That's what kind of guy I am.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But for cryptocurrency, I'm really fascinated on Bitcoin mainly.
Yep.
But Bitcoin, and we have a Bitcoin mine facility in it'd be Northeast Iowa. I own just a small portion of that, and so we're mining Bitcoin. And I just view Bitcoin not as this ultimate transaction cryptocurrency that everybody's going to use on their phone. It could happen, but more as a digital gold that performs really well in this macro environment where we're debasing our currency like crazy. It might not be inflating on the consumer index level, but we sure are debasing the currency versus other assets. So that's how I view it. So yeah.
So what started you to, like, what got you into that? Was there somebody involved with it, or did you just all of a sudden look at the markets one day and be like, hey, this cryptocurrency seems kind of cool, I'm going to invest in this? Like, where did this come from?
Honestly, that was it was greed in 2017 that it was like, okay, the price is going up, so let's buy it and make more money and stuff. But a couple months later, I ended up talking to Mr. Beast, Jimmy. He was at like 1 million subscribers at the time. It was like 2017, and he was really big into Bitcoin. And so he and my buddy who started this channel, he kind of walked us through all of it and kind of showed us how to view it as digital gold, and gave us the whole spiel for like 3 hours long. And so he was the one that got me interested in it. So yeah.
And so did I get that right? You went in with a bunch of other people into like a whole mining facility?
Yeah, on the mine facility side. Yep. So that's the mine facility side is basically you buy the Bitcoin miners, which is just ASIC miners, Bitmain S19s is what we own, and you put them on facility, and then you're on contract with the person who owns the facility to where they'll get a certain percent of the profits you make, essentially. Nice. Because they're managing all of it, and they have technicians out there, and they do all that. So,
gotcha.
Farm simmer turn Bitcoin miner. The stuff you get involved with. So would you recommend
diversifying your portfolio?
There you go.
Not for financial advice or anything right now, but would you still recommend doing Bitcoin?
I don't want to give financial advice, but at this time, I've sold very, very little Bitcoin.
You're still holding on.
If that tells you where money is. Yes.
To the moon?
Yeah. This is a really, really interesting time right now in the Bitcoin, because we're having probably the craziest amount of miners ever move out of China. There's a lot of mine power moving out of China. It's probably going to go into other countries. Some is going to come to North America. Some's going to go other places. And this is a crazy time because Bitcoin's technically predicted to be on its bull run right now. Like, all of this was completely predicted by the stock to flow model. And so now that Bitcoin's sitting down at 30K right now, I would say this is going to go on the record, it's going to be around forever, but I would say in 2 years, like, you're either going to see Bitcoin at $0, which means this thing crashed, or this thing's probably at anywhere from $200,000 to $400,000, I would say. It's either all or nothing. It's just an asymmetric bet here.
That's not a new house. That's a new mansion.
Yeah. Yeah,
I like the sound of that.
but keep in mind, this is a digital gold, and so when you compare gold's market cap is $10 trillion right now, and people say, okay, well, gold has utility because gold's being used for jewelry and stuff like that. So of that 10 trillion, about $1 trillion is being used for jewelry. So that tells us there's $9 trillion of speculation that's being used as a store of value. So, and don't give me, there's a lot of other assets like art and all these things that are used as store of value, farmland, even land in general. So you look at Bitcoin, it's probably $1 trillion, it's probably under $1 trillion right now, market cap. Well, if Bitcoin goes to 10 trillion, just like gold, we're sitting at $500,000 Bitcoin. In my opinion, Bitcoin's better than gold as far as a supply and store value side to it. So
we'll see. See, this is the interesting part about this conversation is that you never know we're going to go to this side of things. I'm just like, wow, the things I wouldn't have thought you would have been big into. And after talking with you for a while, you're like, oh man, this is kind of cool stuff that you know a lot about. So once again, not financial advice, but take what he knows, right?
Well, okay. One last thing. What's really interesting about this, when you think about it, is fiat currencies are kind of on the decline right now, and there's a lot of billionaires predicting that dollar's going to lose its Federal Reserve status here in the next 15 years. You had Stanley Druckenmiller come out and say that. Yep. And so you look at, okay, well, what replaces the next reserve currency? You got Bitcoin at $1 trillion asset. It's a very, very, very unlikely chance it does. But if it does, I can't imagine the market cap of Bitcoin at that. What is it? Is it at 200, 300 trillion, which would be 200 or 300x from here? There's such a small chance it ever does that. But it's crazy what it could potentially become. Yeah. And Bitcoin started as a guy, Satoshi Nakamoto, that literally created this thing and just completely disappears in 2008, 2009, in the greatest financial crisis ever. Completely disappears. Now we got $1 trillion on the network, which is insane.
It's such an interesting. I try to wrap my head around the whole thing, and you obviously have a lot better feel for it than I do. Yeah. So it's always interesting opening that kind of worms up with you, because I always try to get as much as I can out of you.
And everybody plays it off as it's just magical internet money. It's gone by everybody's heads, including mine, when we first saw it. And you see this take place, and now people are starting to go back on that and buying this thing. So as the cycle continues, it'll be interesting to see how people change their minds in the future too.
I agree. I think there's potential for it huge, and well, you know if anybody does. Yeah. I'm seeing a ton of comments in here. People want to know about your equipment you're buying, and so we probably should move back.
Yeah.
And I think there might be, I don't know, are you able to say anything yet about anything that you've bought recently? What do you got on the farm right now?
Okay. So we got tractor, and I've been searching for a combine. I bought a combine last weekend.
You haven't made a video on this. So.
I haven't made a video, but I bought a combine. Yep. We bought a combine.
Are we guessing what it is?
I can't.
We're all assuming it's green.
Can I say?
It's up to you.
It is green. It is green.
Chat can argue about what you bought. How about that?
It is a green combine. It is that.
I think we'd be upset if it wasn't.
It could be a Fendt. It could be a Fendt, couldn't it? Aren't they green?
It's not.
He just sees past the lie.
No one would believe that for a second.
I'd love it. I love Fendt, but come on.
I don't see Grant in a Fendt. I'm not going to lie here.
No.
All right.
X9. Do you know how expensive an X9 is, Shane? Come on. Oof.
Can you confirm it's not an X9?
It is not an X9.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
It's an $800,000 combine. Come on.
Wait until this cryptocurrency goes up in the next year, and he'll have an X9 then, right?
Yeah.
Wait till Bitcoin hits the $200,000 a Bitcoin, he'll have it then. I'm just going through comments here quickly. And make sure you guys feel free to ask questions here. We'll try to get up with them as much as we can, but obviously sometimes we miss some stuff. So ask again if you have a question, of course, in any of the chats we got here.
So while we're waiting, Squad, is there anything with your just the Squad channel that you wanted to do but just never got to do?
Oh, I'd love to make take all the funny clips, especially in the role play series, and kind of combine it all for an awesome video. Because I think Klutch knows this. There's tons of moments that we edit out and that are funny. some of them are inappropriate. I know Buck ends up saying a lot of stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want to keep this in the video so bad, but I don't. I would love to put it up on like a different YouTube channel and stuff. So,
what's been the hardest thing for you? Okay, so you've had this channel for going on 7 years. Tomorrow's 7-year anniversary. What's been the toughest part about the YouTube side of things for you?
That's tough.
I know. Like, what's been the biggest struggle for? I mean, I look at you. I'm going on 3 years in now, and I don't know how you managed to explode at the right time. You did such a good job with getting out there, getting your name out there, original content. And I've tried to mimic a lot of the stuff you did on my content because of how successful you've been. And I find some struggles with a lot of that. How did you overcome all that? How did you become as big as you are now? How do you have the most subscribers for a farming sim YouTuber? Like, what do you think has been the struggle? Where did you fall flat, you think?
Yeah. So as far as kind of getting up there and stuff I feel like it's just kind of the content we make. So for example, DJ's news content is a really good comparison here. For example, I make a video and hopefully a year from now it's doing really good because the YouTube algorithm's pumping that thing like crazy because it's camping, muddy, and roleplay. Like those terms are so awesome in the YouTube algorithm that I see. Whereas, so it's kind of evergreen content, if that makes sense. It's always getting views. Like I got
48 hours, if that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with DJ, where he's doing news. And if, for example, if DJ started doing mudding, camping, role playing videos, just crazy fun, entertaining, it would be. Not that your videos aren't entertaining; they are, of course. But it would be evergreen.
Know how my videos are.
It would be evergreen content that gets views like a year from now.
Yeah.
And then that's kind of what keeps the subs going. So in reality, if I just did farming every day and just stuck with farming, I would be definitely like 100. I'd be at like 70,000 subscribers probably. If I ventured into this other content, then obviously we'd be at higher subscriber amounts. But yeah.
So it's the evergreen content you talked about. Has that been like a conscious goal? Then you always think about that when you're making videos. You think like, how is this going to look a year down the road, 2 years, whatever?
Yes, yeah, and it's kind of a way for, how do I say this? It's a way for trying to master the YouTube algorithm. Like, I don't deserve how many subscribers I have, like 1 million or 1.1 million at all.
Disagree.
It's just because it's the algorithm that YouTube just pumps videos because you had some good titles and you had some entertaining topics in there. It's the algorithm that's really pumping up the channel, if that makes sense.
Has that changed? You've been here for 7 years now. That's a long time in YouTube numbers. Have you noticed that's changed the algorithm itself? Like, have you noticed you've had to tweak things and change things in that 7 years to maximize that? Or do you, for the most part, still do the same thing you did in day one almost? Pretty
much the same thing I did in year 2 and 3. From year 1 to 2 and 3 was figuring this thing out.
Yeah.
And from 2 and 3 to now has pretty much honestly been the same thing. Yeah. Now, one thing that really changed on the YouTube channel, and Klutch joined in on this too, is that role play. That was insane for YouTube. And it was kind of how long has Farm Sim 2019 been out? 3 years?
We're going on 3 years this fall.
Okay, so after the first year, you're thinking, how am I going to make entertaining content for another year or two? And Buck and Jake, they come along and they pitched me this role play idea. It was completely their idea. And I was like, okay, let's try it. And we've been going good with it for like 2 years now, and it is insane. So
that was a lot of fun as well. I have to agree. I don't get in there as much as I would like to. My schedule is a little bit off from your guys's, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of fun. It's not even the stuff that we can always put in the videos that I end up enjoying just as much as the actual video itself, because it's usually ridiculous. Like last night, for instance, trying to record a video and just the shenanigans that were happening, and we didn't even get a video recorded.
And it makes fun. It makes recording fun. Like sometimes when you're recording by yourself, it can be a little more hassle. But when you just jump on with a bunch of guys and have laughs and have a fun time, it makes it a lot more fun. So
something else that you did I was extremely impressed with was the competitive multiplayer.
I love that aspect.
Because you were you were doing something that's a huge part of Farming Simulator 19, and we don't remember that Farm Sim 17 didn't have multiple farms, and you were able to set up mods and stuff like that to work. Where you had 2 seasons, 2 years, where you did like competitive. They had cash prizes and everything.
You're talking about FSN, right? Are you talking about? You're talking about the tournament. The tournament.
Yeah, the farming tournament.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I've always believed, and I think this will be future for farm sim games. Let me know your guys' opinion on this. But at some point here, farm sim needs to take this thing really, really competitive and make it to where you can join in with 5 other guys across the country. You guys start with $0 and you work your way up. You trade equipment with each other, and there's no way to cheat, and it becomes really competitive. It would be FSN, Farm Sim Network.
Yep.
They really hit that on the spot. It's tough to do, but Hans and the team there, they do an awesome job with that. I really think the next Farm Sim game that hits it off is something that is really competitive. Because, yeah, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
I agree.
like, for example, Farm Sim does the hay baling, stacking, competitive stuff, right? But they literally have one of the greatest genres, farming, that can be a crazy competitive game. So I feel like that's where they should probably be taking it to a competitive level.
you're thinking more long term competitiveness versus just like a 5-minute round.
Yes. Yeah. Long term, where it's like Clash of Clans, where you're grinding and you're coming on your farm every day to breed one more pig, and you're playing against 5 other guys or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't disagree at all. I know Giants is definitely pushing the Farm Sim League right now. That is a huge thing for them in Europe, especially. It hasn't seemed to hit over here, maybe just because of promotion. I don't know if anyone even in chat has really played it that much. I know DJ and I have played it a couple of times just to mess around, and it's fun, but I find it's already kind of short-lived. I would like to see what you're talking about more as well, and an easier way to get into those types of games, because the Farm Sim Network, they do a fantastic job, but they're limited in the amount of server space they have, of course, and it's a long wait for a lot of people to get in there and build. You have to sit there and build into the community, which is a whole other aspect before you actually even allowed to have your own farm and compete. So there's a bit of a problem with that. So hopefully you're right. Maybe that might be something that if Giants is listening, and hit nudge, that would be something interesting for the next Farm Sim game for sure. I totally agree with you.
Because that's what makes farming fun, I guess, is when you have like an insanely good year, right? You're like, okay, I'm going to make so much money, stuff like that. But every other farmer around you is going to make a bunch of money, and so your equipment, your land, everything goes up, and it just becomes this kind of rat race where it's just really, really competitive. And that's obviously, we know that's what makes games fun, is competitiveness. So, yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah, I think there's some people that may argue with you that Farm Sim is more relaxing, but I like the shenanigans that even come along with it, and the competitiveness at times.
Yeah.
But again, it's farming simulator. It allows you to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You can probably do that. You
That's
don't
what's
have
awesome.
to farm ever in farming simulator and have a great time.
Yeah, because you could have the free world aspect that we have now, and then you could have that competitive mode, and then heck, you can have the mod mode still and all that. And there's just so many different options you can go with this game, I feel like. So
Cool
I
stuff.
was talking about this on a stream just on Wednesday. I think Wednesday. No, on Monday. A Farm Sim speed run.
speed
Trying
run.
to do like Ravenport, and I think I saw this on Reddit. I talked about this with a bunch of guys. Driver 53 is bringing it up right now. Going on to Ravenport and seeing how long it takes you to buy with base game mods or base game equipment. How long would it take you with like new farmer mode to be able to buy every single field on the map and do like a race? I don't know.
Down
That would be interesting.
already. Yes. Yes.
Could you do it? But how? Okay, DJ, how long would it take? Do you think? Could you do it in 24 hours?
So,
I'd quit playing after an hour. Come on.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like you and base game mods. Come on, get out of here.
No. I need my Alt 0 and my F11s and the
Yeah,
F9
no, none of that.
a lot.
I don't know. I've seen people talking about this a little bit lately, just as a new, different way to bring things into farming sim, and I think it's kind of an interesting idea. I like Farmer 53's idea. It's cool.
It is neat. I like that.
Farm Sim 20. Should we talk Farm Sim 22?
Yeah, let's switch it up. Let's let Squad ask the question. So let's see what I can
I don't know. What are you hoping for, Grant? What's the one thing that farming sim doesn't have right now that you want the most?
the mods search list. The search list. The search list. We've been saying it. We all get on the role play and set up a video together, and it takes us forever to share mods to each other. Some way to make that more efficient. That'd be interesting.
Like in game or outside the game before you jump in?
No, it's what is it, Klutch? It's in game when you're searching for mods would be the biggest issue. Okay,
there's mod called Shop Search. It allows you to do
Yeah,
that.
but not like right now. I think what you're talking about is a way like when you go to jump into someone's game, be able to just say, "Yeah, I need all these mods. Download."
Yeah.
And it would, whatever the game you're trying to, you have the password for, it automatically downloads all those mods for you, essentially, right?
Yeah, that, and I have 500 mods like in my mods folder. So when I'm trying to search for mods to put in this new saved game, I'm literally scrolling through 500, then going up, finding this mod. Instead, I should be able to just search John Deere, go to the John Deere section when I'm in gaming mods, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But,
yep. On the checklist screen.
Yep. DJ's like, okay, we got that for Farm Sim 22. I know it's good.
I don't know, but I'm gonna write it. Where's the piece?
You know what? We kind of talked a little bit about that type of stuff with Chalky just an hour and a half ago.
Oh, really?
There was a little bit of stuff about that. I don't know if it's going to come into the game or not, but he wouldn't divulge any much information for us, unfortunately, even if we tried a little bit. But that would be something. I agree. I mean, that's such a pain in the butt trying to get into multiplayer games without having the right mods or the right updates for mods. Oh, that's so frustrating.
And literally what you're talking about is just a line or two of code.
Yeah.
It allows you to do that.
Yeah.
It is, but at the same time, like right now, when you download one of the current mods, if it's an update, especially, you have to go into your mod folder and delete the old version. You can't just replace it, right? That. Like it's a whole process that if you haven't played multiplayer, it's boy. Gives me a nervous tick thinking about it sometimes, especially when you've got Stevio and Buck in your server and they're adding mods in buckets. People think I'm bad. They have no idea.
Yeah.
All right. So what about features? What other features? Like what about in-game features?
Who's this? DJ? Is it
What's
that?
DJ? Any new features?
New features to the game. I would still love like cells on equipment. I love that feature in 17. I've asked Giants to put it in, and they were like, "Oh yeah, it shouldn't take long. Let me see if we could do it." Like, can we just do it instead of asking? But it was so
cool. Mod does it kind of right now. It just the map has to accept it.
But there's some maps it doesn't work with, and you have to start a new game, and
I know
it's a pain. But it was so cool. Like my Lone Oak series in 17. I was playing with, I think it was Case Age equipment when I started off. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to just upgrade my Case equipment. And there was a time where it popped up. It was like a sell on all Massey Ferguson equipment. I was like, I mean, it's red. and it changed the entire way I was playing the game just because one little thing. It just, Massey Ferguson's on sale. I was like, well, I got to have Massey Ferguson now. It's all on sale. And I can afford 3 more pieces of equipment now with the money that I've got. And it was so cool because it completely changed the way you played. Yeah, I love that.
So
that's cool. I don't know if that's one of my top 5, but it's definitely on there. Oh boy, painful.
So we pretty much got every tractor brand or equipment brand. There's probably some smaller ones coming out, and
like Kubota and stuff like that. There's some smaller ones that are on there, but for sure,
And Farm Sim, what would have been 19? We got John Deere. Everybody's waiting for that one. Yep. Now for pickup trucks, do you think we ever get like Chevy, Dodge, or Ford brands in there?
Not this next game, no. And if we do, we're going to get one. But I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
So if we get anything, I would assume we'd probably get Ford. But it's not tinfoil hat time. It's not anything. It's just if we're going to get something, we're going to get one. But the problem is you add Ford and you don't have any other option. It's either Ford or Lizard. And there's going to be a lot of people unhappy about that. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of Dodge boys going, I don't want to drive that.
What about semis like Peterbilt or Kenworth?
That is one right there where I thought potentially we could see some updates there, because you got to think European versions. We have all the European trucks, right? We got we have the we have Mercedes. There's no Mercedes, is there? I thought there'd be Mercedes by now.
Literally Man and Lizard.
No, what's the other one? There's the Russian or the Polish truck. There's an S. Can't remember the name of it now.
I know we have Tatra in there.
Tatra, that's the one I'm looking at. There you go. Yeah. Thank you. Well, I don't know. You never know. You could see a Kenworth Peterbilt possibly, like those two. Yeah. I wouldn't be disappointed, that's for sure, to get like even one of those, but I would see both of them potentially, right? I mean, American Truck Sim has them. How difficult would it be to run into Farm Sim? It would change things up a little bit. I know it's all about the money. You're right, 100%.
The thing about Dodge, Ford, and Chevy would be that Giants is so European that it'd be tough to get only strictly pretty much a U.S. brand in there. They'd have to get some type of European pickup truck in there too, obviously.
Or just put the Toyota Hilux.
There you go.
And then everybody's happy.
There you go.
It's the best truck in the world.
Maybe. So, what other features? Do you have any other features that are high on your list, Grant?
Oh,
What do you have? What can't we do right now that you wish we could do?
I don't know. Is there anything else? Competitive aspect. I'd love to get that in there. That's just a whole nother world, though. But
I know, for me at least, one of the bigger things I always come back to is like more of a deformable ground. That's something that I'd love to see.
Yeah.
Some kind of, not necessarily a snow runner. I know you've been playing snow runner lately.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, I see some videos come out about that. It doesn't have to be like that necessarily, but if it comes close to that, even better.
That would be cool. Yeah.
I think that would be a very cool thing. I mean, that would make your video life a lot more interesting at times too, right? Like, you wouldn't have to fake putting a truck underground as much.
And they could kill it on their mudding aspect. They could get people playing the game just to go mudding and go off roading. I could seriously see that happening if they did it.
Making just allowing more areas in the maps, be like, hey, and so I mean they added trails, which was cool for like the first week. I think the first video that you made actually was with a couple guys. You just went trail riding in Farm Sim before it came out, I believe, too. Yeah.
And I think one of the things you got to give Giants credit for is that terrain mod. That was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if you guys said it or somebody said it, but weren't they gonna? This might be like a little rumor I have in my head, but wasn't it going to come out with the game? But it maybe needed some updates, and so they released it later on.
There was a lot that was not ready yet, but because Focus Home Entertainment was publishing it, they had a date, and they had to hit that date.
Gotcha.
They didn't have a choice, and Giants have pushed Farming Simulator. 22 was supposed to be Farm Sim 21, but they pushed it back another year just because it wasn't ready, and they were like, "We're not releasing a game that's not ready."
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, the farm aspect in Farm Sim 19, that's all new, right? The being able to build your own farm, how you like it. Now, that being said, when it first came out, oh boy, was that ever painful without the terraforming or the building placement mod or whatever. Like, I was kind of curious on how they were going to fix that. And then when they came out with the beta, I think, and DJ and I think we streamed the night they came out with that beta.
Yeah,
and we're like,
they came out with
awesome now. Like, this totally changes the way the game is completely. And allows you to do whatever you want now. And we did like a build off, and I think I made fun of you for the video you were talking about and giving me shots in the other day. But we like have this whole.
You lost? Is that what you're jelly?
I made a motocross track and I still lost. I mean, come on.
You didn't build a farm.
I made an awesome track.
We raced horses on it. It was.
Leave me alone.
One thing I was going to say is it's crazy how high of, and I think everybody realizes this, but how much market share Farm Sim has held over the past like 8 years.
Yeah,
there's been people try to create like a Farm Sim, but they just don't make it.
Yeah,
no.
The number one.
There's a couple other series out there. You're right.
Yeah,
no one else has managed to pull it off. Now you've done Farm Sim 19. What other content have you done recently? I know you've done a couple other videos on stuff. What else have you been working projects for?
Yeah, Farm Sim, SnowRunner. That's pretty much no.
Did you do the ranch one at all?
I didn't. Austin did that one.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were involved in that at all. Okay.
SnowRunner. Gosh, there's another game. What's the other game? Farmers Dynasty. That was a shot trying to take some Farm Sim market share, and it seemed like did that end up going anywhere really? That game.
It's more of like a top-down strategy type farm game, isn't it?
It was just like one day people just quit making videos on it. Like you were doing some videos, Dagger one was doing some videos. They were great videos.
Yeah.
It was just like one day everybody just stopped making videos on it.
Yeah. It's just a little bit. You're right. No one can seem to compete with Giants on this stuff, and rightly so. I mean, Farm Sim it's a great title. It's held our attention for almost 3 years now, which is kind of tough to believe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know where it's going to be going next. I can't wait to see it though. So any other hopes or aspirations for Farm Sim 22? Anything else? I mean, how often do you talk with Giants? I mean, you are technically the biggest Farm Sim YouTuber, Farm Sim content creator out there.
I don't. Yeah. You guys and DJ especially know a lot more about Farm Sim 22 than I do. Like, I don't think I ever talked to Giants really.
Yeah. I was before because when we had that conversation about Farm Sim 22.
Yeah.
When we were talking, I was like, "Really? You don't know what's going on?
Yeah.
Come on!"
I messaged. What would have been? I messaged DJ and I was like, "Oh, do you know what the announcement is for Farm Sim 22?" He's like, what? I've known about this forever. And then he sends me it. I'm like, where are you getting your information at? Jeez.
Like Chris, I just messaged him and chat with him.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do a podcast as well. You should talk to him about being on that.
Okay. Yeah. Do you guys have you guys ever got Daggerwin on this show?
He hasn't responded to anything.
Okay.
I've got him to. The only time I can get him to respond to anything is when he live streams. I do like a $20 super chat.
Okay.
And he'll message me or shoot me an email afterwards like, thanks for the support. I really appreciate it. Love your channel.
Okay. Because Daggerwin would be an interesting guy to have on the show too. It'd be interesting to hear his story.
We hit him up about 3 months ago, something like that. Never respond. I'll hit him up again, but he's very quiet.
Yeah. And he's kind of stuck to his videos, his kind of role-playing series videos, and just stuck with them over the years. It'd be interesting to have him on, talk and stuff. So,
well, I mean, there was a long time too where you kind of stuck around your own. I think you've branched out a lot in the last maybe 2 years, year and a half or so.
Yeah,
it seemed like for a while there you were fairly on your own, kind of for the most part doing your own thing. Yeah. And is it just simply because like when Grant and here we go again.
It's just that resting, you know what face.
Okay.
So when Pickle and Buck approached you, was that the spur of kind of maybe opening up and doing more like multiplayer type stuff? What was the?
If there was a moment that really changed the YouTube channel, it would have been when Farm Sim 2017 came out. So fall of 2016, that was a changing moment for the channel. And then roleplay, I'd say that roleplay. It just opened up so many more opportunities for content. So I would say.
Do you have plans to ever like what? So Farm Sim 22 is just on the horizon here. We're less than 6 months away right now.
Yeah.
What's your plans on for videos coming out with that? Because of course, Farm Sim 22 is going to come out. You're not going to have a lot of the stuff that you have right now to play with.
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing more farming again? Is that you're going to have to move back into that? You think?
I think so. Just pretty much farming. Let's see. Farm Sim 19 came out probably a couple days later. Guys were putting out mods, starting to put out truck mods, but it would be just farming. Yeah. And at the end of the day, farming is what I really enjoy most. Like it would have been Farm Sim 2017, the Iowa series. That was the funnest time I've ever had playing Farm Sim. Was that Iowa series where we just went, day to day, and we just straight up farmed and stuff. But at some point, those videos don't get as many views as some of the other videos. So that's honestly why I do a lot of the other videos.
So you base it purely on views. Like you look at the content, it's like, well, I really do enjoy doing this, but
Yep. That's kind of a tough thing to do and stuff. So I go on stuff that's gonna do insanely well for views, and it's still fun to make. Don't get me wrong, but if I did farming, I honestly think we would have 20 to 30,000 views every episode, and we'd be at 150,000 subscribers right now. I think.
Hey now.
Nothing. No, DJ, you're gonna be at 1 million soon.
Says the guy who's under 50,000 over here. Yeah,
you're doing good. You're doing good.
But that's why I talk about just kind of playing the algorithm and stuff. And so if you step into this millionaire camping role play, it's gonna play the algorithm. It's gonna do really well.
Well, I 100% agree. I mean, even when I do some of the off the wall stuff, it's funny how some of that stuff, like, oh look, I'm the millionaire farmer's video, all of a sudden does twice as good as my regular farm type video. It's so bizarre on how that stuff kind of works out in the algorithm. And I agree. I understand where you're coming from on that, at least. But the old iron stuff also does well. It's funny, the mix, right? You either do like I'm rich and I got all this money to play with, or I'm broke and I've got all this old crappy stuff and I got to deal with it. Right? Like that's the juxtapose of farm sim content. It's hilarious how that works out. Or you're a Pickle and you're doing, I got no graphic quality. Where is he?
Pickle gets creative with some of his videos. Man, he gets creative.
I will say at the end of the day, it is important to remember that I love what I do. I don't want to do anything else. Mm-hmm. Squad loves what he does, enjoys making videos and farming, and Klutch. I'm not really sure what he does.
Nobody does.
At the end of the day, this is a business. This is our job. We come to work when we're making videos. We're at work. It just happens to be super fun and super awesome. Yeah. And if we did something that did bad every day, it's just going to be bad. And that's not a great business decision.
Yeah.
And you have to think about that. I have people all the time be like, DJ only does this because he makes money doing it. I'm like,
You go where the views are, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to bring the best content possible and enjoy what I'm doing so that you guys know what's going on. But I'm at work.
Yeah.
You know, this is my job. It's important to take that part seriously, because if you don't, I think it's obvious when some people don't take it being a business and being a job seriously. Not a lot of people talk about it, but I think it's, you know, but the thing is, we still love the heck out of what we do. It's so much fun to do this for you guys and make content and just have a ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you talk with other YouTubers too, and I think everybody kind of goes in that decision where you got to pivot a little bit and maybe lose some of your old audience that was with you day one and pivot to gain a lot more subscribers. It's kind of a tough decision, you know. Yeah. So it's a tough YouTube decision, kind of. So
how is this confusing, Prestige? I'm confused.
I can see how it's confusing a bit, but
Prestige, you got Prestige over there.
Yeah, Prestige is hanging out with us over here.
Hey, he's a good kid. I'd love to have him. I say kid. I think he's older than we are. I'd love to have him on the show one day as well.
You should definitely come on out.
So, DJ, question for you: do you want to do Farm Sim news like 2 years from now? What do you see yourself doing for Farm Sim? Is there any dream you want to have? Do you want to keep doing Farm Sim news? Maybe start. I know you have another YouTube channel, but maybe start another YouTube channel that's just farming on farming, or.
So yeah, I've thought about doing that a lot, because right now I've got the GoHam gear, but the channel, you know, I've got more stuff that I want to do, and I'm kind of running out of notifications during the day. I've almost thought about doing like a shorts channel for Farm Sim News.
Okay.
Just each story.
Yep.
And with a little music behind it. So if the story is, you know, A2 Studios got another truck and it's super awesome, you know, like that's the short, and it goes on the Farm Sim News, you know, YouTube channel. And in the same sense, I've thought about doing a gameplay, because gameplay videos do awful. I enjoy them, and I love playing Farming Simulator. Like, I play on Xbox for like an hour every night before I go to bed. But at the same time, nobody cares, because I'm not known for gameplay videos.
Yeah.
Never have been, but I'm just not. So I thought about making a different channel, either for gameplay or for those, you know, news videos, so people could see like, oh, you know, here's Farm Sim News, scroll down to the video where they're like, oh, I care about that, and click on it. They don't have to sit through a full like 8 or 9 minute video. So that's kind of what I've thought, but I'm like, is it at that point, am I just making, you know, the same amount of content and having more videos and views? You know, I'm also trying to play the not realistic card, but the down to earth card, I guess. I don't know. Not being greedy with it.
Yeah. So
that's always tough.
DJ, do you still do DJing?
No, well, I've retired when I wanted to retire when COVID hit.
Okay.
And I had given them my, like, by saying like, you know, hey guys, at the beginning or the end of July 2020, I'm done. Because I'd gotten in a fight at work. A guy had gotten into the DJ booth and I couldn't get him out. So I did not have a good night that night. I didn't enjoy myself. I was like, I'm done. I'm too old for this. I'm 31 years old. I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
So that was in like February, like at the end of February.
Oh, wow.
And then COVID hit. And so I was like, okay, well, you know, I'll stay on because I didn't have to go to work. But I lived like 5-minute walk from the club that I DJ'd at. So I was like, in their restaurant during the day. So I was like, you know, I'll hang around for another year. It'd be nice to be on vacation in the mountains for an entire year. During the COVID, you know, wake up, do a couple of videos, go sit on the front porch and do nothing the rest of the day.
There you go.
And so that's what I did. And, you know, YouTube became my primary job for that point. And I gave them my phone. I was like, hey, you know, at the end of May, I'm gone. And that was like at the beginning of January this year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like middle of February, North Carolina's like, clubs can open back up. I'm like, no.
Oh, you're done.
No. So I DJ'd a little bit. I still got some turntables and speakers. Like, I'm turning the one of the living rooms in the new house into a club. It's gonna be super cool. Because I don't know what to do with that room.
You've got so much space in your hands. He's got the mansion over there.
It is a sweet place. Grant, if you're ever in North Carolina, hit me up. I got a place for you to stay. We can hang out.
Okay. So you're officially done then?
Yeah. I'm officially done.
Okay.
Officially done.
Okay.
It was a long way to get around to, I don't DJ anymore. It was a story. It was a story.
I've never heard your short stories. Let's be honest.
I don't have any.
I know they're always long. That's why we shot.
My mom's a published author, and my stories are only a little bit shorter. Goodness. Grant, got anything else? You good, man?
Is this how long you guys usually go?
We go about an hour. Yep.
Hour 12?
But I mean, if you have more questions, you want to talk more about stuff, we're happy to talk about your stuff. Let's be honest. We're more than happy to have you on the stream here. Let's be honest.
Unless DJ's got any secrets to share.
I don't know. What secrets he got on 20?
I'm waiting. I know he knows
none that I wouldn't get a phone call from tomorrow morning. Hey, you know that thing we're doing? Yeah, you're not involved anymore.
What's going on with Spencer and Mr. Chow? We got any more videos coming out with that anytime soon?
Mr. Chow. That's funny because a lot of people thought that there was actually a Mr. Chow, like in real life. A lot of people think that. And so, in case you guys are new, Mr. Chow is just Spencer TV. It's just Spencer TV playing Mr. Chow. But I would say half the people thought it was Mr. There was actually a different Asian guy.
I remember the comments on it.
Yeah.
Where did Mr. Chow go? Why isn't he back?
Yeah. And I thought everybody knew right away. So then me and Spencer started playing it off like there was actually a different guy. So, yeah. But he's doing good over on his channel.
Okay. Too. No plans for anything, any collabs or anything in the next little bit here? Nothing planned out at least?
I don't think so. No. Yeah.
He's doing well. He just hit 300,000 not long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He hit 300,000. I know he really wants to get into real life excavating and mulching and stuff with skid steers. So he sees how do you say it? Andrew Camarada on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever seen him? He does skid loader stuffs. Somebody's gonna know what I'm talking about, but he's really interesting. So he wants to kind of go on that real life aspect eventually, I think. But
so he's helping you out with the farming, the real life farming stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
This is like a joint venture between you two, and I know your old man's in there as well, right?
Yep. Spencer and my dad help out a lot. Yeah, they don't get enough credit for it, so they help out a ton on there. So
but they don't have it. Your brother doesn't have a channel that's going along with that. He's just kind of you guys are using your channel, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. I know wasn't sure if he had anything else on that. I've been watching your videos, of course, but haven't seen anything on his side of that. But that's good to know. Does he have any? I mean, we should actually chat with Spencer one of these days.
Yeah.
Get him on the show.
There you go.
Definitely get him on here. I haven't chatted with him in a while, to be honest. I don't think since the 4th of July thing we did a long time ago was the last time I chatted with him.
Yeah. See, the funny thing is, me and him we don't understand farm sim as good as you guys. You guys are in every little detail and understand it. So people will ask me for my opinion. I'm like, I'm not an expert. I just play the game, I guess But so it'd be interesting to have him on here. Yeah.
I'll take it. Yeah, I do know some stuff about farm sim. I've got a quick question for you, Grant. So this is from a guy named Simulation for the Nation. He's a YouTuber. He lives in Canada, and he's a great, really, really good friend of the channel.
Canada?
So what's the most... Canada. It says, what is the most nerve-wracking decision that you've made on your new farm to date?
Nerve-wracking decision. Let's see. Honestly, I sold some corn. So I sold 10,000 bushels forward contract corn, and I didn't. This might get a little confusing, but I didn't take a hedge position against that corn. And corn was falling 2 days ago, and I was like, I got to sell some of this corn off. And I sold corn at 488. Yesterday it goes up to it's kind of the emotional side, but yesterday it shoots up 40 cents. So it's my gosh, I just sold some cheap corn already. So that wasn't the best decision, but yeah, that was probably the most and the auction, buying the third farm at auction. So you're in a room with 40 or 50 people, and you're obviously a young guy, 20, and it's just a bunch of farmers staring at you while you're just randomly in their farming zone, if that makes sense, and you just buy a really expensive farm just right in front of them. That was I was pretty nervous.
Was there any blowback at all on that? Was there did anyone say anything to you about the no gang wars or anything like that?
No bad comments. No, everybody's really nice and stuff. Yeah, everybody's really nice. I'm sure there's people that say stuff behind your backs or assume things, but everybody's really nice that I talk to. It's
okay.
Everybody's, you talk to a neighbor and they're like, hey, stop on over for coffee sometime in the morning and stuff. So,
yeah,
it's nice.
There's farms around here, but there's only one person that owns it all. But I've noticed that moving into this neighborhood as well. Is everyone in this neighborhood, everyone is probably in their 80s or 90s.
Really?
I'm 32.
Have you talked to them?
Yeah, pretty much everybody. They're
Okay.
really happy to come and see what you're doing.
Okay, so when they say, "What do you do for a living?" What do you tell them?
I tell them I'm a content creator for the internet. And then if they ask more questions, I say that I play with fake tractors. And then if we get even more into that, I say, well, I play a video game that's about farming.
Yep.
And that generally they're like, okay.
That makes kind of sense, I guess.
Really?
So, but I mean, my first word was tractor, so it all fits.
You keep saying that.
It's because it's cool. It's a fun DJ fact. Leave me alone.
I talked to one of my neighbors, and he's like, "So what do you do for a living?" I'm like, "Well, do you know what YouTube is?" And so I was going to tell him, "I'm like, kind of YouTube, make videos on there." He's like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, do you know what Google is?" And he's like, he understood Google. And so he was just a really older guy. And I don't think I've ever talked to anybody that didn't know what YouTube was. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever talked to anybody and they didn't know what YouTube was?
I just tell them I work for Google
all the time.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Huh.
My mom still doesn't understand what YouTube is, so yeah.
I had to pay my taxes a couple of weeks ago for the state, and the person was asking me what I do. I was like, I work at YouTube, and they were like, I don't know what that is. I was like, I work for Google, and they were like, oh, you work for Google?
Okay. Yeah.
So TQS was asking about how nervous were you about starting off your new farm. I think you kind of answered this. Was there anything else? I mean, that's a lot of money to be shelling out. Like, how did that whole decision go? Because I mean, I think you said it was like building $1 million farm is what you're starting off as. How did that, like, were you confident that this is going to work out 100%, or was there some tough nerves going on when you were signing the paperwork on this stuff?
I was pretty confident it was going to work out and stuff, but man, if you were a beginning farmer and you started out, first of all, it'd be almost, the way I'm starting farming is weird, but it'd be almost impossible to start farming if you don't have outside income or outside capital. That's what makes it so hard. And so having obviously YouTube income is really nice when starting a farm. That's what makes it a lot easier starting out than another beginning farmer. So yeah, it is. Yeah. I just, with the financials, I couldn't imagine starting with just like a regular job, or not a regular job, but just no outside income, I should say.
Yeah. And like giving that up to start a farm, basically.
Yeah, that would be almost impossible.
It would be extremely difficult as well if you had maybe a good job, but it's a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd ever do that.
Yeah. There's a couple guys on YouTube that are kind of doing it. So real young guys that start pretty much from scratch. I know there's a guy named Gavin Spore that he's on Instagram, but he's starting pretty much fresh out of college. He has a little popcorn business, and then I think he does a couple other side hustles. But that guy is literally starting from scratch. And I'm thinking to myself, man, why does that guy not document his journey starting from scratch? That would be so entertaining.
You never know you're starting from scratch. I mean, some people don't know they're starting from nothing, and then they get to that something.
Yep.
And by then it's too late. It's like, I'm here.
Yeah.
You don't realize it.
It would be a lot more entertaining watching a guy start with $0 start a farm than a guy start with, a good amount of money starting a farm too. Because man, that would be fun to watch on YouTube. Some guys start with 0. So yeah.
So new plans this week. You got more plans for videos for the real life channel?
Yeah. Real life channel. Combine video should be coming out this weekend.
Nice.
The new combine purchase, and got a side dress urea on top of the corn. So adding more nitrogen on top of the corn here next couple of weeks and stuff. But other than that, it's sitting back, kind of watching that corn grow. So yeah.
All right.
So lots of squad videos then coming out soon. We got lots of.
I need to get on it. We got an interesting one. Buck's been working for like 3 days coming up. Well, Klutch knows it, but NASCAR. So that'll be fun.
Oh, he's got a plan. It's ridiculous.
One question that I know I have, I don't mean to keep you, but video editing. Once you've got all of this content, editing, I'm assuming you edit on the same PC that you game on. Yep. I'm assuming that you use Premiere Pro.
Yep.
And I'm assuming I don't know anything past that.
Yeah. It honestly, it takes like probably 20 minutes to edit a video. It's not bad at all, really. And that's one thing I wish I would get more efficient on, and like hire somebody out to edit that. I don't. Do you guys edit all your own videos?
Oh yeah, I have a full computer just for it.
But man, you could really fly if you got somebody else to edit it and stuff. But yeah, I do all my own editing and stuff like that. So yeah.
Have you considered hiring an editor ever?
I have. I've talked to Jake about it, the former Pickle. He does a lot of that kind of stuff, and maybe getting him to edit, or his friend was a big editor in it. Stuff, so.
Any reason why you haven't gone that route? I mean, you're obviously at the size where that would be feasible.
Yeah. It's just at the end of the day, it is only 20 minutes of your time. If there's probably some videos where you probably need to that are complex, and you could add like some of the scary camping videos. Yep. That would be good to have a crazy editor. I've considered doing it, but for now, it's almost a little easier to just do it on your own. Kind of running in circles here, but
yeah. So you've never once hired anyone to do any of your editing before?
No.
Same with thumbnails. Never hired anyone to do that or anything.
Yep. Same with thumbnails. Yeah.
Interesting.
I think it's the move probably to do it, but I just haven't done it yet.
Well, it's finding the right people is part of the problem. That's all. Exactly. That's almost a bigger time sink than just doing it yourself, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure once you're set up, that's one thing, but getting to that setup process, I know I've looked at that as well, and it's like, well, I could spend 20 minutes trying to research, trying to find this, or I could just get it done myself and be done with this now and worry about that tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
So. Prestige, 20 minutes, you mean 20 hours, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is you already know your workflow. You already know the video, you know the content, you know where the cuts need to be and where the editing needs to be and the music or whatever. And then you just do it versus having to pay somebody and explaining, well, this is what I want here and this and that. It's so much easier. Just do it yourself.
Yeah.
It takes me an hour to edit the Farm Sim News videos. And still I'm like, I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I would rather do it all myself. That's all I got.
I think that's all we got. I think we're good.
Awesome. This was awesome. Thank you guys for inviting me on.
Dude, I appreciate you coming on. I know we've chatted over the last probably 6 months about having you come on. I think you were one of the first people I talked to about this, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah.
Like, well, is there anybody better to have than the guy with the most subscribers, the biggest farm sim YouTuber, to come hang out with us for an hour and chat about farm sim and everything else that you do now? Like, dude, you're into too many things. I tell you, I can't keep track of what you're doing half the time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So
well, cheers, my friend. So hopefully we can have you back on. I know there's some, as we get closer to Farm Sim 22, I'm sure we're going to hear some more stuff, and maybe we can talk a lot more about that and what we think about what's going on. Hopefully we can get you back on later on at some point and talk more about it. But thanks again for coming on. I appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah. It'd be cool sometime to get like 5 or 6 of us in like the recording group on too. Get Stevio and Buck, Austin, Pickle, King May. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Everybody's saying Pickle. We've already had him on the show.
We had Pickle and Austin together, but we should probably do them separate again at some point in time so we can actually dive deep into their brains.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun show too.
I think we'll probably skip the new mods for the week. I don't think we have enough time to go over.
Right.
There wasn't a lot to talk about.
Here's all you need to know about the mods this week.
There you go.
People don't know how to spell tricycle, and it's not a stupid Polish potato box. That's all you need. I
thought it was. I'm confused.
No, they copy and paste it from the seed bag in game and then change the title.
Go watch DJ's video. You'll know what he's talking about. I don't know.
Just make it decent. I will help you. Hit me up. I've worked on quite a few translations and stuff. I got you.
You got it. Yeah.
Maize Plus, or not Maize Plus. What was the Straw Harvest?
Yeah.
They did the English. The description.
Yeah. You got to figure out these language things. I know. Grant, what's your plans for the rest of the day?
I work on more videos.
It's a long weekend for you, right?
Yeah, long weekend. Go work out. Try to grow these little tiny biceps.
Look at the pipes. He's got the pipes there. Was that lightning or was that thunder right there?
Yeah.
No plans for the weekend? No long weekend plans?
No, I need to go run down to the farm, and I still haven't cleaned out the planter and stuff like that. So just clean up there. So.
Well, you actually have a real job now and not just YouTube job now.
Yeah. I got to feed the world. Somebody's got to do it.
There you go. You can start saying that, right?
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
I'm joking. It cringes me out when farmers do say that, though. Gonna be honest.
That's what makes it funny. Cringe is good.
You're officially a real life farmer now, though. That's that's pretty incredible to move from where you've gone. So I give you all the props in the world. So have a good weekend, man. DJ, what's your plans for the weekend?
I'm going to go take myself out for dinner because today's been a long day. And then I'm going to come back here and do nothing for a little while. Wake up tomorrow morning, continue to do nothing. Actually, my buddy who is the real estate agent for the house, he's coming to the house. We're going to chill and do nothing. And then Sunday, I'm going to kind of roll all that into one with a little bit more nothing.
See, I asked you a simple question, and all you had to say was do nothing, and it's still that really long answer.
Can't do it, man. I can't do short answers.
It never ends. Well, I'm going to Lake, so you guys have a fun weekend. I'm gonna go. I'll get the banana hammock on, and I'm gonna go stretch out on the beach for a bit, and it's gonna be a good time.
There we go. Awesome.
Nothing, eh? Nothing? No. All right. No one wants to see the dad bod, but
nothing for every show anyway. All right, well, that's it for the Farm Sim Show. Thank you, Klutch Simulations, and thank you to the squad for hanging out with us today. We know your time supported. We appreciate you spending it with us. It means a lot to us. That's it. That's all from me.
We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, Grant. See you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll chat with you next week. I am out of here for the weekend, so see you guys. Have a good one. Boom and boom.
Farm Sim Show, baby. The Sim Show.
Gets worse every week.